Hello YouTube and internet, how's it going? So this is going to be another video. I suppose I'm going to try to do this mostly as step-by-step as I can, but I found a dash mount that will go here into the center tray of my Ford Expedition. I have a 2016, and this is from Tackform. Now I searched high and low for a dash mount that would work for my generation of Expedition, and it seems like this Fast Track at Ford F-150 11th generation, the 04 to 08s, is going to be the ticket. So it is for entirely separate year generation than Expedition, but that seems to be a common theme for Expeditions, especially since it has a lot of similarities to 09 and 14, but yet this one fits the 7 or the 04 to 8s. So this is going to go for the center tray here to get rid of my ram mount on the windshield. I will be reusing the mount here for the ram ball as it should, oh that's not in focus, as it should be compatible with the amps system. I don't think that's still in focus. But nonetheless, so this is going to be last, but I'm going to try to take off this dash here. I've tried to use my trim removal tools, and as much as I pry on it, it's not popping out. So the thing I have to do is remove pretty much the whole head unit. So you're going to have to pop this bracket, pop off the faceplate, take out the radio and touchscreen and such, and then hopefully I can access whatever's holding this on there. So I'm going to try to do as best I can to document all that, and we'll see how that works. So stay tuned. So now for removing that, there's these 4 clips here. So you can pop the 2 sides off, and you have to kind of push it down and slide it straight out. That was kind of the trick on that. And then I would just make sure that all the clips on there, you don't break them off, because it is pretty easy to do that with this type of plastic. But there are these metal clips in there. So if you don't have them all, once you pull the faceplate off, just get in there with some pliers and you can pull out those metal clips. Now, probably not going to be able to show this because of the lighting and everything, but there are screws down there. Well, that's a terrible angle. But there are screws. There's a 7mm. I think there's 4 or maybe 2 on each side. But you want to remove that, and then all that plastic shroud pops right off as well. Snap, pop. Just remember that. Snaps, you might have done something wrong. But the pops, probably in a good position. Ah, crap. I was gonna say, a lot of times when you're trying to take these head units out, you don't get it just right, it's all going to snap back together. Okay. So probably won't be able to see that, but I put it into neutral, so I had a little more room. And then, so there's 2 on both sides, see the orange clips, and then there's 2 up top. So you just gotta keep working on it, and it'll pop right out. And then the harness, 1 plug. There you go. And that's the head unit. Which is also why it's a quote-unquote pain in the bitch to swap out these head units for anything aftermarket, because this entire module is powered by 1 cord, 1 plug. Of course there's others depending on what you have. So if you want to switch this out for the 8-inch, keep forgetting my camera's in here. So you want to switch this out for the 8-inch, get the entirely new faceplate. It's like $1,000 bucks. So, pain in the butt. So you got the radio unit now. You got all this space down here, which is great because it's not being used for anything. Because this back is flat. So you got a ton of space back there. So for my future purposes, what I'll be doing, this right here is where that faceplate goes that we took off first, this guy. So I'm gonna be putting a radio in here, probably. MGRS Ocean KG 1000G. So I want to put the remote plate here and probably store the rest of the radio back there. A bit of light so you can see what's going on. And then here's the radio itself. Nothing's in focus. It's not a professional video, so you know. So I'm hoping I can see in there. You can't see. See in there what would be preventing me from taking off the dash. With the Tackform mount, it does come with adhesive, but for extra security, I am going to screw it in. I can install, if I can get this thing out, sand down these ridges up here, and then also do a little exploring to see what is inside the console, because there's not much footage of this, as I've found on YouTube. So hopefully this is helping somebody. You can see there's a wire tap in there. It's that yellow wire tap. There's another one over here. That cord right there is going to the 12 volt, so that's good to know. I can tap into the 12 volt for other power supply. And then the cabinet's space. Alright, onward. Okay, so I put up my sunshade, so it's a little easier to get this on somewhat decent light. So you can see that's on, so I'm gonna have to wait for the battery to turn off before I really unplug a whole bunch of stuff. But that's a 6mm bolts. So there's four of those. I'm just using a cheap Harbor Freight one. It's pretty easy to do with just your hands. So I learned how to get all this stuff off from another video for switching from the Ford Sync. I think this is like a 2 or a 1 to the Sync 3. So if you ever want to learn how to do stuff before you do it yourself, there's this video, which probably is not very good, and then there's the other videos that are much higher quality. Also, found on YouTube. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that down there, and then you can see what we have to work with. So this guy, I believe, is like a GPS system. It has a bunch of cables in there, and then see there's a metal tray that's above, and I can touch the bottom of this. These ridges are raised on the bottom, so when I sand that down, I'm really hoping that I don't go through. So hopefully it's just enough to get it flat. We'll see. So the base of the mount is wider than this intersection. It's like the intersection and like half of this. So I want to make sure it's nice and flat on here, because for whatever reason Ford decided to make this a molded anti-slip thing versus like down here where you can take this thing off and then it's flat. And also like the 04 to 08 trucks, this would be just a removable mat. But this one, for whatever reason, they decided to go with a molded tray. Makes it that much more fun for modifications. But kind of seems like this is all embedded, so I don't know if I can actually get in there. So I'm gonna put the camera down, figure this out, and then I'll get back. Okay, so I found that there are clips that are in there. You probably won't be able to see it because of the camera, but I got some photos. And you can see the light. So that is a separate piece that does go around. Of course, that might be assumed but you never know with some of this stuff. But you can see the light from my camera that is showing down there. So I'm try to get everything lined up. It's like underneath in there, so it's gonna be kind of hard to get to, but we'll see what I can do. Okay, so I'm removing this bolt right there. That's a 7mm, so I can have some space. So I think I'll be able to pull out the clips from the top of the tray if I remove this. Okay, be careful not to drop the screw. Sounds up. Okay. Now, here's one. I think it slides out. Yeah, so it slides out left to right. And then so I take out. Actually, just set it there. Probably give enough room. So now I have the big cavernous opening, and took off my shade, so now there's a lot more glare from the sunlight. But I think if I go through this port with my hands, the big one there, I can pinch the clips and then pull the tray out. But there is 4, so let's see if I can get you guys in there. This is so professional. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then there's another 2 over there, and then there's this really long clip that you can kind of see in there if it focuses. There you go, that really long clip. So I think when I pull the tray out, that's going to tether it, and then that box behind it is for, I believe, the security system. So if you are drilling into here, you should be fine, as long as you don't go past the tray, because you can kind of see where that lip of the tray ends. So you should be good, just drilling straight into it. If you're not worried about the ridges, or you find a mount that is within the tray slots or the ridge slots. So if you want to bolt right into it, go for it. I'm being a little extra since I think this is the first time of this type of mount. There is another one that you can use, but it is longer. So once I get it off, I'll show you guys how everything goes together. Okay, I was successful. So I used this guy. It's in a blue set, obviously blue, from Harbor Freight for trim removal. I literally just jammed it right in there, popped it off. I don't think I broke anything. I don't think I did. But you definitely have to apply more pressure than you want to. So now let's see what's getting stuck on. Hold up. All right, so kind of freehanding it right now. But as I thought, that clip in the back is what's holding it up. So I can reach now from the bottom. Maybe just put my hand in here, try to get it out. But let me try to set you guys down somewhere. So it's kind of for naught that I took this part out. Went the long way. So I'm squeezing it because it's like a prong. There you go. You guys can see. Alright, that's gonna be a tricky one. Because you could probably break it, it probably wouldn't matter too much in the long run because it's not integral of the bracket. It's stuck. So I need to finagle it just a little more. It'd be nice if you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Success. So they're pretty easy to bend. So I just crimped them back to there and popped it out. There you go. There's the tray. Probably took me 30 minutes to get this one piece out. But now, for research purposes, it is completely okay just to drill right into this. You're not going to hit any metal. And even if you go from the top down, you have plastic. You have this metal brass clip, which honestly I have no idea what it goes to. Probably, so I have an XLT. If you have anything probably higher trim level than XLT, typically the tray is split in half, so you have a speaker and then you have the tray. So it literally like takes up half of the tray. So if you have that trim level that has the speaker there, the center speaker on your center dash tray, that's probably where that mounts into. So this dash mount probably wouldn't work. So let me get it out. I'll show you guys what we have to work with. I'll do on a better unboxing or something. So this comes in 3 pieces. Get the tray here. So the mount brackets take up the majority of the tray. Can't see anything. So you have the tray. The mount bracket takes up the majority of the tray. Hence why I want to file those down or sand it down or whatever. And then this top bracket goes on top. And then you're good to go. Like that. But if you have the speaker, then the bracket doesn't fit. However, since Expeditions are kind of the bastard childs of Ford just meshing everything together, there's a single generation of Gen 3 Expeditions from 07 all the way up till 2015. Well, 2014 technically. So, and then there's a difference between the 15s to 17s that I have, because I have the 16. So at some point, they put in the tray here with a speaker. So if you have the one with the speaker, you might be able to try the F-150 version of the mount that fits within, the space, the half tray space. You might be able to try it. Luckily, these mounts aren't very expensive. I think this one was about $60. And so you can be your own pioneer for those trim levels. I have been talking with Tackform to say, hey, this one actually fits, because I was interested in the 09 to 14 F-150 mount, but given the height that you get and also the depth dimension and all that kind of stuff, this one seemed to fit the best. The 9 to 14 was wider by a few inches. So I think this one is still good. Maybe Tackform could come out with an Expedition specific one that would be shortened. But this isn't the only mount on the market that fits. There is one possibly from 67 Designs that would need to be like special ordered. I didn't get that far within their customer service. And then there's also, I think it's bulletproof mounts, which is a little thinner, which would probably work for those trim levels that have the speaker there. But I didn't quite like the bulletproof mount design. I like this one because it's a lot more versatile. And also 67 Design is very well known for phone mounts and that kind of thing. But they have a single track and you have to use specific mounting to the track. And then you have all your arms for devices and stuff. So this one seemed to be the most modular option out there, which is why I went with them. I will be applying for an affiliate link. So fingers crossed they'll come through. But for now, I'm going to try to work on the rest of the custom mounting of this, and then I'll be able to wrap it all together. But it does look, if I sand it down, I'm going to get into the bottom, so we'll see. Maybe I'll just give in, use the 3M tape, and then just drill it in. But at least now, I know for sure that nothing is being drilled into a sensitive component of the Expedition, and there's definitely enough space. So I will send that back to them. And it seems like if you have the 7 to 14 Expeditions that have just a single tray mount, just this, not the little wings on the side, this one should be good to go. So I'm gonna get this all mounted up, bolt everything back together, and that should wrap it up. Alright, so we are back in the truck and I got everything installed. So here is our final product. This can flip around, you know, whatever. So everything is nicely installed, and here is what the layout looks like on the bottom of the tray. So we got clearance for the clips, and everything lines up pretty well. This looks pretty good. You know, it's just over a little bit, but once we got it on there, see how nice and oh, you can't see anything. So that's super low profile to the top of the tray, which I really wanted. And I think that if I went with any other brand, it would have been even taller. So there would be even more kind of obstruction, you know, through the windshield. Not nearly as much as something that's on the windshield itself, but I like that this is super flat and you can still get stuff underneath, because, you know, you gotta put stuff on your dash sometimes. The side panels or the side little trays on the Expedition, the 15 through 17s, aren't really that useful. So my family does put a bit of stuff up here, phones and wet wipes for the kids and that kind of stuff. So it's nice that there's access so you can still get in there. And I have more room for other accessories. So as you can see, I did diagonally mount the ram ball. So, you know, that's just how that's gonna have to be. It's a shame I can't do it vertical, but when I have it up there, it's gonna be pretty nice. You can't see that yet. So I'm gonna throw this on a hyperlapse, get everything all buttoned up. Hopefully my camera will be able to record everything, and then I'll show you guys the final product here. Alright, so we got everything installed. Pretty simple. I lost a screw for the, you guys can't see anything. I lost a screw for the radio, but it has 3 points of contact, so it should be fine. You'll notice that it did reset, so I gotta fix that. And it's definitely not 6 o'clock, it's 14:06. But anyway, get this RAM mount reinstalled. That. Perfect. So now I can get my phone, which is of course underneath the camera mount. There's that. And I can put that right there. So you have a lot of flexibility with these RAM mounts, which is pretty nice. They have their downsides, but that's pretty rock solid. Hopefully it won't rattle too much on the dash, but from where that's at, in my perspective from a driver, it's definitely lower, closer to me. I don't have to reach as far to get to my phone, and I have more mounting options, and it's very low profile. It's pretty much flush. That's as flush as you can possibly get with the dash, and I think that there is well worth the money and searching for a dash mount, especially with how easy it is to get this in there. Another thing I did do, which you might have noticed in hyperlapse, is I threw them in my mess of a bag over here, are the copper clips that I noted to earlier in the video. I'll have to find those later because it is an absolute disaster in there. But anyway, I got a photo of it too. But there's 2 clips right where these bolts are at, and I was thinking that they were in the way for that mounting location. However, there is a lip right here that the dash mount needs to fold under, and then it will sit right in. So it's very possible that you don't need to remove those clips if you have, if you don't have the speaker. That would be pretty much right here. So when you're installing it, if you are taking the tray out, you can do that without having to take all of this apart. Now that you know that there are 4 clips in about this general area, and if you have a wedge trim removal tool, just get that sucker. Where's the I'm gonna use on this side, you know, on both sides here. Get it really far in there and lift up, because it is a kind of a curved tray. It's not flat, so you're gonna have to really get in there. And remember, if you hear popping, that's a good sound. If you hear cracking, definitely a different sound. You're breaking the clips, which if you break the clip from here, there's a slim possibility that you can buy a new dash tray. I haven't delved that far into Ford parts. I don't think you'd probably be able to buy just specifically the inner tray, like the inside mill tray. But if you find maybe one at a salvage yard or something, then you're good to go. But just be careful. Lift straight up, and then it seems like it will rock out and then rock back in. And then once it rocked in, it sat right down, and it was good to go. Here's where that vantage point is for this. It's nice and lower compared to where it was on the dash or on the windshield. So far, I give it all a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave any comments you have down below. Feel free to message me on Instagram and also on YouTube comments or PMs, and I'll be happy to help in any way I can. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.